Hello, hello, beautiful purpose-driven entrepreneurs. Welcome back to another summit. We're already here with our monthly summit for September. Welcome to the Power Up You and Your Business to the Next Level Summit. This summit is sponsored by the Life School, where our mission is to empower entrepreneurs with the right education and skills so they can build a legacy business that makes an impact and income. And today I have the amazing honor to have so many beautiful speakers that we have invited from our community, and they're going to be sharing their wisdom around different topics that it's all the work that they do in the world in the effort to give you the right education, the right inspiration for today, so that you can walk away with wisdom and short nuggets of information that you can really utilize in your life and business to move you to the next level. So I'm going to start with my first speaker, Loda Siebold. She will be introducing herself to us, and she'll be sharing her little nuggets of wisdom regarding the work that she does every day. Loda, welcome, and thank you so much for being here.
Thanks so much, Ilona. Thanks for the opportunity to be here. Yeah, so hi, my name is Loda Siebold. I am the co-founder and co-host of Fitball Fusion Coaching, and my partner and I are holistic health practitioners. We also have a podcast, and we do one-on-one online coaching. So today I have a topic for you guys that's super dear to my heart, and we're going to jump right into it if I can. That's fine? Okay. So
Absolutely.
Then let's play a language game. So I want you to either write something on your computer or on a piece of paper if you have it right now. And I would like you to write down a statement that is I can't believe statement. So take 20 seconds right now, write it down. An example would be, I can't believe the Queen passed away. So now I'll give you 20 seconds, write down the statement that is relevant for you. All right, so now let's read our statement, each out loud. I can't believe the Queen passed away, and you do yours, and tune into how you feel. What's the picture? What's the feeling? And now the question is, did this statement, what you wrote down, did this thing really happen? Well, if it did happen, can you believe it? Because, for example, my statement, I can't believe the Queen passed away, there's evidence, unfortunately she did. So I need to rephrase this and say, I can believe the Queen passed away. So what happens now if I shift this statement? I'm actually having a cognitive shift. I have this I can believe statement now, and I acknowledge this thing happened. So now I can actually start to integrate what happened and also take responsibility for certain things. Let's say at the workplace, we have a lot of topics where people can say stuff like, I can't believe they said that about me, or I can't believe they didn't give me a promotion. Now I'm very much in the picture. I'm very much in this, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. But now it did happen, so I can go out of the picture and I can be like, okay, let's take responsibility for what happened, and maybe I can actually change it. So what is the benefit of looking at things like that? Why we're playing language games? Well, it keeps us in a down-regulated state. It helps you to make better decisions to be in a down-regulated state like that. We're not so attached to the stories. We're more relaxed. We're less stressed. We're taking ownership for our thoughts and therefore our life. It's that simple. As I mentioned, we have the opportunity for changes and different approaches. So acknowledging that these things really happen and staying in that down-regulated stage is also another part of why we incorporate breath into that. So then we can come from two angles of being so nice and down-regulated. So let's breathe together. Let's do diaphragmatic breath. So we're going to take a deep inhale, and we're filling the belly first, and then exhale, slowly let it out. And another deep inhale all the way into the belly, and exhale, slowly let it out. One more time, deep inhale. And slow exhale out. Wonderful. So now how does that feel together with getting out of the stories and being more in that downregulated state? And there's also one more interesting thing, which is called the reticular activating system, which is a little part of the brain, sits at the back of the skull, right where it goes into the spine. And that's sort of our telescope, where we can focus on certain things. So in that story, if we focus it on all the, oh my God, I can't believe statements, we're going to get more drama in our life. We're focusing on these things. Whereas if we focus it on other things that we do want, that keeps us downregulated, we're going to get more of that. Because you might have noticed you bought a car once and all of a sudden the car's everywhere. Did this car magically appear on the street because you bought the car? No, I see you guys nodding. It did not. But your RAS, your reticular activating system, shifted your focus. All of a sudden it's like, oh, this is important to that person. I'm going to give them more of that. So that is how we can now know of it and use it to focus on different things. And that is my super simple little thing. If you guys want more of that, my partner and I offer workshops on this and similar topics, and we love to have everybody attend. It's free, and we're just really passionate about these topics.
No, love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. I definitely needed that breath exercise, and it definitely brought up oxygen to the brain. And a lot of times we forget to breathe, I feel like, especially as entrepreneurs, as we're going through a day-to-day like agenda driven and trying to balance masculine and feminine energy while we're completing our tasks and feeling aligned and all that. So I think it's really, really helpful. Thank you so much for sharing that. It was beautiful.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Awesome. Now I'm going to my other amazing speaker, Amy Schluter. I'm a butcher for names. I say
you got it.
So sorry. Okay, awesome.
No, you did good. You did good. Most people don't know how to say it or spell it, so we're all good.
Where is it natively from? Let's start with that. That's beautiful.
That's my husband.
Where is he from?
He's German. Well, his family's German. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. I'm Italian, so it gets a little heated sometimes.
Love the diverse background. I'm sure he brings so much flavor to the family and all of that, because I am natively Albanian and my last name is Lopari, but that's my husband and he's Albanian, but I think we're invaded by Italy many years ago and we got a Italian last name. So that's the story a little bit about that there. So Amy, welcome. Looking forward to learning a little bit more regarding what you have to share today and what you do.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. So my name is Amy Schluter. I'm a life coach for teens and young adults, which is super unique. And I specialize in working with college students. And so a lot of people ask me, like, how did you get into coaching younger people? So I started my coaching career after I got certified. I started coaching adults. And after every session, I just kept thinking, like, wow, if they would have just learned this stuff sooner, their life would have been so much easier and less stressful and less anxiety and more aligned and better relationships, all that stuff that coaching helps with. And so I just kept thinking and thinking and thinking, like, wow, if I could just get into, like, get with younger people, right? Then their lives would be so much easier to navigate if they had the tools earlier. And so my heart just kept calling to younger people. And so I finally just went for it. And so now I coach teens, young adults, and I absolutely love working with college students. And our kids they're just so awesome and smart, and they just need, that extra little help. So I love working with them. So that's a little bit about me and how I got started coaching the younger generation. So today I want to talk to you guys about navigating triggers so you can build better relationships. And triggers are, so it's kind of hard, and this is going to be a big surprise if you haven't thought of it this way before, but triggers are about us. And we try to make them about other people. Somebody triggered me and then you get angry and upset, but it's really, the triggers are about us. We have to look inward. It's our button that's being pushed, and nobody can push a button that's not already there for us. So it's kind of a big awakening and to look in the mirror to realize that it's more about us than about other people, because we really want to place the blame somewhere else. And it's not that we're to blame, but we want to blame someone else, like they're the cause, right? And so there's two main reasons why we get triggered. The first one is around a value. So we all have values that we hold, and surprise, surprise, not everybody holds the same values as highly as we do. So just for an example, if you have a high value around communication and the people you're dealing with, maybe in your household, your business, do not communicate well, then that's going to trigger you because that's a high value for you. And so you can see how conflict could arise from that. The second reason we get triggered is what I like to call our robber. So the robber is the stories and our thoughts that, our thoughts that tell us stories all day. And they try to, keep us from our full potential and rob us from our full potential. And that's why I call it the robber, right? Because it really is all those thoughts that just tell us stories all day long. And so I'll tell you my quick little taco story. It's kind of becoming famous with everybody, but it's a good example of how both the robber and the values can both get triggered at the same time. And so my taco story that I like to share is, so I don't love to cook. It's not my favorite thing to do. And so, but I make the kind of the same things over and over. So tacos is a staple in my household every week, and my family loves it, or they love, tacos. So, but if I were to say like, hey, we're having tacos tonight, and my husband says, oh, okay, we're having tacos again. So he doesn't mean anything by it. He didn't say it in a nasty way, right? But I'm going to get triggered because my story is I'm not a good wife. I'm not a good mom. I'm not a good cook, right? And that's about me in my own robber thoughts, right? Also, one of my top values is family. So that's going to trigger too, because I like to take care of my family and I'll feel like I'm not taking care of them. So you can see how easily something like that, and you guys might be like kind of chuckling inside, but that's how arguments start, and they can get really heated. So if I was triggered by that, I could easily come back with, well, why don't you do the grocery shopping? Why don't you meal plan? Why don't you cook? And then a fight ensues, right? So it's really about, stepping back and realizing that when you get triggered, it's more about you and not so much about the other person. So the good news is you can navigate the triggers. The bad news is they're never going to go away. You're going to keep getting triggered, but I'm going to tell you how to manage them right now. So the first thing you have to do is really acknowledge and just recognize that it's happening. So in the moment, you're going to really just start to recognize and practice. Everything's practice because, like I said, it's never going to go away. We're human. But you can start creating that awareness around it when you get triggered, and that recognition of what's going on. Then the second thing you want to do is come up with a pause technique. So it could either be counting to 10. You might need to count to 110 or 510, or maybe you might even have to take a day, right, to think about it. But you're going to pause and really just recognize that you're getting triggered. And so what I do, my little technique is I just cross my fingers, like they'll be by my side. I won't like hold them up like, hey, I'm getting triggered, but I put them down, just by my leg, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting triggered. Let me think about this, and just kind of zip my mouth, don't react, and really, really take the time to acknowledge it and figure out what's going on. And so the third thing then you want to ask yourself, what is really going on here? Am I getting triggered? Is it, around a value? Is it around my robber? Like what's going on here? And then you can try to understand it. And then the fourth thing is you can decide if you want to, react or respond. And normally our go-to is the reaction because it's based on emotion. But we really want to step back, take that time, and come from a place of logic. And what that does is it gives us time to form a response, or maybe we don't need to respond at all. We just acknowledge it and like, okay, well, I don't need to even say anything because it's just my little robber going off for me. And so you can decide if you want to respond or you're going to react, right? And or respond instead of react, right? Because we don't often need to react. And sometimes, like I said, we don't need to do anything. So it really just gives you that time to take your control back and formulate a response. instead of coming from so much emotion. So those are my tips for you guys, and I hope that is very helpful. It really has improved my life once I kind of started getting a hold of my triggers and realizing it's more about me than the other person.
Wow, Amy, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I think we need to talk more about this topic of values, especially with the younger generation, because as they're discovering what their values are, so I'm sure that work that you do is really, really impactful with them. But also the way that we communicate, because if we really understand that our triggers are because of a story that's connected to that, and understanding that from the other person's side of view or point of view really helps us be better humans, and we can connect at a different level. I could still see myself in that situation of I don't cook, and every time there's a comment in my house, I'm like, but you know what? I do other things. So you just want to always do that. So there is something there, right? So I could so recognize that. Thank you so much for sharing that. Beautifully put. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
Awesome. And now I'm going to my other amazing speaker, and she's a happiness coach. I'm like happy, teach us how to be happier. I think at the end of the day, that's all we want anyway. Christy Holt. Christy, welcome. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here. And, I'm going to kind of pile on a little bit onto what both Lotta and Amy kind of talked about, because man, if those aren't really super foundational things to be kind of including, right? So thanks for having me. I'm Christy Holt. I am a happiness coach. I am a podcast host. My podcast is called Create Your Happy, and it is all about inspiration for conscious women. It is my vision in the world to increase the consciousness, increase the happiness, and just make the world a better place. And what better way to do that than to share inspiring stories of overcoming. I also recently published my book. It's called Get the Fuck Unstuck. And inside my book, I actually talk about a couple of the concepts that these other beautiful ladies have been talking about how our brain works and how that filter plays into our experience, as well as how those trigger responses are really just information coming up for us to observe. And behind all of this, I really, truly have a message of hope for everyone, because if you are not experiencing the life that you truly desire, the good news is it's up to you. So I have a real heart after having come from a relationship that was really not very supportive. And I can look back now and I can see that a lot of what I was experiencing as conflict and difficulty in the relationship was me driving the bus. I mean, it takes two, but the ultimate thing is that in any relationship, if you start looking at it as it's them, then you're going to start running into problems, because ultimately the real truth is it's you. And that can be really off-putting if you're used to the blame and shame and complaining and, looking externally to find your happiness, as so many people do. We're all very distracted trying to find happiness out there. We believe that if we just find this thing or have this thing or do this thing, that we will finally be happy. The truth is that you're happy when you decide to be happy. And so you can take back that power. You can reclaim your power. You can reframe that filter, that RAS that Lotta was talking about. You can reprogram your brain. Neuroscience is showing us more and more and more how plastic our brains truly are, and how we can shift, from thinking patterns that we currently hold into improved thinking patterns that actually serve us moving forward, growing, evolving, and enjoying, creating the life that we truly want for ourselves. And ultimately, at the foundation of this is relationships. And having had that experience myself, I'm very passionate about helping other people to go from, blah to bliss in their relationship, because relationships are the foundation of the human experience. And without relationships, the entire experience is much less interesting and fulfilling. And in fact, in order to have a wide variety of experiences as a human here on Earth, we need other people, right? We need to see different experiences before us and take different pieces of that into our own reality. And the truth is, the key foundational relationship is the one that you have with yourself. And so I have a system I call the CREATE method. And this is all about, figuring out what you need to do to make some shifts, to reprogram your brain, to get clear on your values, to get clear on your desires, and so that you can shift out of survival autopilot mode and into the conscious creator mode, where you're deciding and creating with intention the experiences that you want to have. So my CREATE method is the system that I use, and I have a few different programs in which I use it, but it's sort of the foundation, because learning that relationship with yourself first, giving yourself that radical love and acceptance, is actually like the pivot point to which now you can build yourself up. You will overflow with that abundance, that love, the success, the joy, the happiness, whatever it is that you seek in your life. It is all in your power to create. And ultimately, relationships with other people are about what you can give, not what you can get. And that's a really common misconception. So many people out there looking out to the world and looking to see what the world can give to them. But if you flip that and think about, what can I give to the world? What can I contribute? And how can I grow and continue to evolve? That's how you become a conscious creator. And I love what the other ladies shared, because when we are stuck in this autopilot mode, we don't recognize this power that we hold. We actually find ourselves feeling really stuck and maybe a little bit hopeless. But the truth is, you are so powerful. You are the creator, and it's all up to you. So starting with that, that self, radically accepting and loving on yourself, is what's going to change everything. So a passion to help people to, reframe, right? Calibrate their consciousness so that they can operate from a clear space where they're responding versus reacting, so they can shift from surviving into truly thriving.
All right. Thank you so much, Christy, for sharing that. And I had a clue. I'm like, it's relationships, but you just confirmed it. It's relationships, what really fulfills our soul, right? And
it's the foundation, right? We are love. And what do we crave most? We crave love. We crave acceptance. And we can give that to ourselves first and then overflow from that space. And that is so much more supportive than going out and trying to find all of these things that we think are missing from the world around us. We can just give that to ourselves. And then magic.
Absolutely. And I've seen that firsthand in business. That's why I talk so much about impact, because I'm like, I can just surround myself with more people to love on and serve, as you just said, right? Service is at the core of it, because when you give, you receive. It's the law. It's a law.
Yeah.
It's the law of universe, right?
Yeah.
And we always feel so much fulfillment when we do give, right? So it's kind of that gift that we're giving, and we always get it back one way or another. So thank you so much for sharing that. And that's the one of the main thing that keeps me wired to my business, because it's like addicted to how many people can I reach? How much more impact can I make? Because at the end of the day, maybe one small thing that I might have said or shared could just, change somebody else's life. The power of one. Because especially when we think of growing our businesses and make that impact, a lot of times we get unfocused or purposeless, because we might get lost in the day-to-day. But if we just sit back and we're like, what is that big impact that I want to make? And let me just start with one person at a time, right? Focusing on that one thing in front of you that is going to multiply eventually and grow eventually. Every big brand we see that has an impact that we love has done it just like that, one person at a time. So
and
I could just so beautifully connect this to the business. Thank you so much.
And we go first. Ultimately, that's the rub, right? We want to create this ripple. We start first. We change first, and then it just flows from there.
That's it. All right. Thank you so much, Christy, for sharing that. And I'm going to my other amazing speaker. I can't wait to hear a little bit more regarding her and the amazing work that she's doing in the world, I should say. Georgia Vanderbilt. Georgia, thank you so much for being here. Can't wait to learn more about you and everything you have to share with us.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for having me. So my name is Georgia Vanderbilt, and I own Shorty's Candle Company. We've been in business for 20 years. We just had our 20th anniversary, and it has been a journey, just like everything has been a journey. It's, this little weaving road that we ride on. And I just, we don't have to know everything. And at the beginning of our journey, we don't know where the end of the journey is going to be. But I remember being a little girl, and one of the things that I struggled with was my emotions during the day. And I kind of felt like I didn't have an outlet to let them out on. So my mom, she came to me one day, and she had a little notebook. And she sat down on the side of my bed, and she said, "Sweetheart, I think you need a journal." I thought, this is so dumb. And then she left the journal, and I picked it up, and I wrote. And all of a sudden, I realized that I could work through what I was going through by putting it down on paper. And everyone has different ways. I meditate every morning, and a lot of people will meditate. But for some reason, there was something about taking that pen and putting it to that piece of paper that made everything really come together and come home for me. And as I would have been journaling since I was about 12 years old, now I'm 42, and I've been journaling this whole time. And I have books and books, and I can go back and I can read about all the different experiences I've gone through. But I got to a point in my journaling that I realized that I was starting to actually create negativity because of what I was writing in my journal. So I would sit there and I would write all of the things that had happened during the day. I'd gotten over everything that had happened, and then I'd go back and I'd rewrite everything that had happened. And then I would relive it. And it became really difficult to move past that. And then it would bring it all up again. Kind of, when you wake up in the morning and you're just thinking about the negativity from the day before, that made it really difficult to move forward. So it was stopping our company. It was stopping my relationship with my husband, my relationship with my kids, and my relationship with myself. And then one morning, about 3 weeks ago, actually, I was sitting there and I thought, I've been keeping a results journal. So I probably actually have like 8 or 9 different journals that I write in every day, which seems like a lot, but that's just me. That's who I am. Okay, with myself. But I was keeping a results journal. So this results journal I was writing in, I would write down all the things that I wanted to happen. So I might write something down like, I'm so grateful and thankful that I have these 10 rental properties and I have all the residual income from them. But those hadn't quite happened yet. So they felt sort of like, okay, cool, I'm writing it down, so it's going to happen. So I was pre-planning. But then I decided to change it just a little bit and bring it a little bit more into right now. And I decided to start writing down every day. So I woke up one morning and I just wrote down, I'm so grateful, or what did I write? I wrote things like, I had a wonderful day today. Today was very fun. Today was a great day. And then I would listed a few of the things that I had done, but I wrote it as if I was writing it at night. And I call this my pre-journaling. So I wrote it in the morning, but as if it had happened at night. So I wrote things like, I woke up, my kids were on time for school today, which had never happened. And then we laughed on the way to school. I wasn't racing with the other cars this morning. And then at work, the team meeting went phenomenal. And I just put it aside. And that night, I read what I wrote. And I was shocked because everything I had just written down in my journal had come true all day long. And then the next day, I was like, I think I'm going to try this again. So I just wrote in my pre-journal, and I wrote everything as if it had already happened just during that day. It wasn't this long-term thing that I was hoping would happen in the next 5 years. It was this immediate moment, this immediate 24 hours, this 16 hours that I would be awake. I even put in there that I went to bed on time. And then the next day, I sat there, I wrote this whole thing in the morning, and then I went through my day beating myself up. I beat myself up because I was not perfect in what I had written down. I thought, oh, I wrote that down and this is what I meant and it didn't happen perfectly. So I got mad at myself. And then at the end of the day, I went back and I actually reread it. And I realized that everything I had put in there had happened. It might not have happened exactly how I thought it was going to, but it had actually happened. And I went, wait a second here. I need to stop being so stringent. I just need to write the things that come from me, and I need to appreciate it and move forward with it. And so I've been doing it, but I haven't been harping on the tiny little things, but I've been reading it at night and then rewriting at the end of the day. And everything that I'm writing is actually happening. And now, instead of writing all the negativity that had happened during the day and then having to relive that day the next day, it wasn't my Groundhog's Day. I was pre-journaling, so I was setting it up for success. And I have found that has made one of the biggest differences in our company. You know, I have a team of 14 people out in the warehouse right now. And that's a lot of responsibility, plus my kids, plus my husband, plus we're moving houses. We actually just moved from another warehouse into this warehouse. There's a lot riding on all of our shoulders. We all have an incredible amount of work that we're doing internally and externally. But if we can take a moment and we can pre-journal, it makes a difference. So when I was doing it in my head, because I kept thinking, oh, I could just think about this in my head. But then I really didn't have anything solid to go back to at the end of the night. But when I was able to actually write it down, and then I could look at it and celebrate, then that was when I started to actually feel really, really good inside. And once again, it made a big difference in my relationship with my husband, my kids, the realtor that we're working with on the new house. Everything has improved. The way I react to people, my leadership with our team has improved because I'm pre-planning the day. So pre-journaling is something that I believe will help many entrepreneurs, as well as people who are not entrepreneurs, people who are waking up in the morning and making it through the day. Everybody, because actually that's what we're all doing, no matter what title you have over your head, no matter what team you lead, if you're a team of 1 or a team of 30 or a team of 5,000. We want the day to go smooth. We want those steps to move us forward. And pre-journaling is one of the big steps that has been able to help me as a leader. And I do truthfully believe that it will help you too. So thank you.
All right, beautiful, Georgia. I think journaling is definitely an amazing, powerful tool to use in our lives. And you just confirmed that. And I'm sure everyone could see themselves in a lot of the perfectionistic tendencies or even being results driven. That's a lot of the work that I've had to do in the masculine energy working for a corporation 15 years, being results driven rather than understanding this whole creative side that we all have as leaders, so that we can be focused more on improvement goals, I would say, on making sure that every day we're making a little progress towards the thing that we want to achieve. So it's a whole completely different mindset, because that's what I found as well personally, that I was getting disappointed. We were making all these high goals that we didn't achieve yet, and it's like when you don't get that in the everyday life, when you're practice, you don't see it, you kind of become discouraged, and that wasn't the right approach to doing it. So I think you just shared that focusing on 1%, 1 millimeter improvements daily and letting life flow as it should is really a better way to feel good about the progress we're making, be happier at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, it's really what we want, but also start attracting the right things that we want in our lives. So, Georgia, what is your company? That's so fascinating. What do you do?
We manufacture candles. It's called Shorty's Candle Company.
Shorty's Candle Company. And you use journaling now for yourself and your team and all of that as a tool, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Fascinating.
It's beautiful.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing everything you did. And very nice to have met you. We have connected first time virtually together. So thanks so much for being in this community.
Thank you for having me.
All right, amazing. And now, last but not least, it's my amazing, one of my amazing clients, Rita Caridas. Rita is going to introduce herself to you guys and talk a little bit about the amazing work that she's doing in the world with us. Rita, welcome. So nice to see you again.
Thank you. Thank you. And I love everyone's share. Sorry I was late, but I had trouble with the link. Finally figured it out. And I'm so happy to be here. And I feel like all of us need to be doing some sort of retreat, in-person retreat to help women all over, because we all have so many similar talents and doing them in different ways. So my journey started decades ago when I first started my health and wellness journey. I was tired of the way I was feeling. I was popping over-the-counter meds and prescription meds like they were Tic Tacs, and I wasn't feeling any better. So I started learning about yoga and meditation, organic gardening, food co-ops, and herbs, and I started feeling better. So as my journey continued, I started learning about essential oils and kept, working on myself. I was going to conferences and I was a speaker and I taught classes. We had a health food store. And so it was just very beautiful to be able to work with people and communities and continue to educate myself. So I've always worked on myself mentally, physically, and spiritually. And in 2018, we had a major move. We decided to sell our dream home, close our health food store down, and move to where we live now, Frisco, Texas, to be closer to our grandkids. And it was a very interesting time. And at the same time, I started learning about aroma freedom techniques. And this is very similar to what everyone is talking about, but it uses the power of smell, essential oils. And so I realized at that time, this was 4.5 years ago, and I realized at that time I had been working on myself mentally, physically, spiritually, but emotionally, I wasn't taking responsibility for myself. I was playing that blame game and that what if, like if that person would do this, or if only this, or my mom was this way, and if she was only that way, you know what I'm talking about. And then I started being able to be a participant in some Aroma Freedom sessions. And it was such a beautiful experience for me because it helped me release the negative feelings, thoughts, and memories that were interfering with my life. So Aroma Freedom is, there's 6 different techniques actually, and they all do the same thing. It's a step-by-step process that releases the negative thoughts, feelings, and memories that are interfering with your life. And it gives you an opportunity to, you'll have that negative thought, like what some of you were talking about, that will come up like, I'm not good enough, I don't have enough money, I'm not smart enough. And then you'll feel it where you feel it in your body. And also, what's the emotional word that resonates with what you're going through? Is it anger? Is it sadness? And then you're drifting back to a time when you felt the same way, and a memory pops up. And then you start smelling particular blends of Young Living essential oils. And then all of a sudden, you go through multiple rounds, but as you do this, either the memory starts to dissipate, it may get a little more intense, you may have another memory pop up, whatever it is, you just keep working through these rounds. And then by the end of usually I do 2 to 3 rounds. Every so often I need to do 4. And at the end of the session, you are so uplifted, you have new awareness, inspiration, clarity, and more control of your life and the direction you want to go. And of course, like anything, you have action steps. So besides saying affirmations and power poses and smelling essential oils, you have other action steps. So if you're writing a book, for instance, maybe it's you're writing one chapter a week, or if you want to call 10 clients in a week, that's what it is. Whatever it is, you're working on action steps to create that new awareness, that new belief system, and that energy that you want to create, because smell is so amazing. I don't know if you know, but smell is the only sense out of our 5 senses, the only one that goes directly into our brain. And it affects the limbic system, which is the seat of the emotions. And this is where our past traumas, emotions, our behaviors and patterns are stored. And what smelling the oils, and of course, like what you ladies were talking about, there's other ways to achieve this. This is just a beautiful, quick technique that I love. But what it does is it reconsolidates those memories, and they just dissipate. You just don't have them anymore, or maybe they're there and they don't trigger you anymore. So it's just a beautiful technique, and I love what I do. I love helping stressed entrepreneurs, women that are juggling it all, and also women with aging parents. And I love to help them I give them strategies and techniques that are in the moment techniques, so that they can create peace and calm, clarity, and be in control of their life.
All right. Thank you so much, Rita. I'm so proud of you. So beautifully articulated. And it really, taught us the beautiful power of aroma freedom therapy, and all those benefits of clarity, focus, and how the sense of smell is so powerful and directly created or connected to our brain, especially as we're always in creation mode. A lot of times we need to create, we need to get inspired. So I think what you shared there was absolutely beautiful. And you called it, because I am definitely thinking of doing an in-person retreat here in New York for the October summit. So I think that's something that I'm putting together right now. It will be so beautiful to put all of us together in one room. The energy that we feel live, I mean, virtual is amazing, but the energy that we feel once we're in a room live together, we can co-create and use the synergy amongst one another. I think it's going to definitely be at the next level. It always is. So, and that's actually the passion for my work, because that's what I have found. I just had an interview before the summit for my show, and I am a sucker for human potential. I think we all have unlimited power and potential inside of us. And the more we utilize, all of you ladies doing all this amazing work in the world, to really tap into what is that authentic power, the one thing that we want to build a business out of, then we will explode, right? Because everything that it takes to make that impact is all about getting recognized, branding yourself in that one thing, learning how to market yourself, how to educate and inspire your clients or your potential clients, and then learn how to do the sales and also the systems, and also grow with the team. So that has been my framework that I have improved, and it developed over time, just seeing so many amazing entrepreneurs that have, at the end of the day, are purpose driven. I think we're all purpose driven. I mean, personally is why I started my work. It's because I feel like this is my life's work. This is my mission. This is the impact that I want to make in the world. So I want to thank each and every one of you for everything that you have shared. And as a final message, I'm going around again the room, and I want to ask you for a final message for our audience. My platform is called the Life School, because that came to me as a vision that at the end of the day, life is its own schooling, right? We learn so much through our experience, through our journey. And that is the way that we make our impact, through our personal story and sharing all these amazing wisdom that we did today. So a final message: what has the Life School, your Life School, taught you? And also, where is it that people can connect with you? So I'll go back to Lara. Lara, tell us your final message, and where is it that the audience can connect with you?
Yes, thanks, Ilona. So the audience can connect with me through Fitwell. We're on all social media platforms under the same name. It's Fit, Well, and then Fusion. And this is really just what we do with the coaching. My partner Ryan and I is really what we learned ourselves. So we went through the whole step, and that's why we now believe that the dream, like life purpose, is the biggest thing that we strive for. That's why our signature one-on-one coaching is called the alignment program, because we were like, what has this all been tied together? Well, it has been tied together by a dream. What are we striving towards? What is the purpose? You can also call it your soul mission. Really whatever lands. And that's like the whole thing that we're striving together. So for us, it was, since we were working on a dream, now we want to help others find their dream, start living their life. So that's really it. And one thing I learned this, and that was also now hearing all of you, we all come from these different angles. We start here, we start there, and I feel we're all just working to get together, all to betterment, to improve ourselves. And that's why I'm so glad and happy that we all have these different niches, and we work on different things, yet we accompany each other. And there's really something for anybody there. Whoever wants to work from this angle or that angle can find something. And that's really what I'm deeply grateful for, that this is out there. And literally, whenever I talk to other coaches, other people that learn, I just love to hear how they find their happiness, what lands with them. And now we have these options. And now even more connected, being through the internet, it's even better. You can really find your tribe, your community right in your living room. You can connect with amazing people. And thank you all so much for sharing today. That was wonderful.
Hey, beautiful. It is so true. I don't believe in competition. That's old. That's masculine power. Feminine power is all about co-creation and the fact that people resonate with us for different reasons. And we all have such a unique power. That's why I'm so passionate about helping people uncover that and just building a massive brand as big as you want it out of that, because you will be unstoppable. There's no one stopping you. You're just being your own channel, in your own alignment, in your own journey through that. So beautifully put. Awesome. Thank you so much for that. And I'm going to Amy next. Amy, what is your final message, and where is it that the audience can continue the journey further with you?
Yes, thanks. So the biggest thing that I have learned in my life that I would love to share with you is to focus on the solution instead of the problem. We're so used to just focusing on the problem, and focusing on the problem, right? And so when you switch your brain to solution mode, it gives you back your control and moves you forward. And anytime you're moving forward, even if it's a baby step, you're going to feel better that you're taking that action. So that's the tip that I would love to leave you with. And you can find me at my company is Best in You Coaching. So it's bestinyoucoaching.com. And I also have a Facebook group for parents where I support parents of teens and young adults. And that's called the Parent Power Path. And there's also a link on my website. So if you go to the website, you'll find it there too. Thanks for having me.
Beautiful. Thanks so much for sharing that. Christy?
Yeah, I guess the biggest thing that I want to share is this idea, this myth that we're here to suffer, and that unhappiness and suffering and pain and struggle is just a normal part of the human experience. And I want to just bust that wall down, kick through it and show you that doesn't have to be the case. And it's only the case because that's what you believe to be true. And again, I'm going to give a shout out back to Lotta for talking about what you believe and that power behind that, because what you believe, what you think is the truth, is what creates your experience of reality. And so you are the powerful creator. You just got to believe things that are going to help you to move forward, right? And believe you deserve all of the goodness and the happiness and the love that you desire. If you desire it, is absolutely meant for you. All you have to do is go out and get it. And I know I'm oversimplifying, but the power is there. The first step is that believing that you can do that. So I wanted to share that. Where you can find me, I mostly hang out on Facebook. I love me some Facebook because I like to write a lot, and Instagram be all cutting me off and making me tighten up my words, and I don't like that. I like to fully express myself. So more so on Facebook, although I'm on Instagram too. You can find my Facebook just under my name, Christy Holt. I'm there. Also, you can find my podcast, Create Your Happy, anywhere that you listen to podcasts. And you can find my book on Amazon. Again, it's called Get the Fuck Unstuck. So you can find that there. That's kind of like that first piece in my whole journey. That's the getting from that unconscious to the more aware, self-aware, so that you can start responding with intention and being that creator. So if you're finding yourself stuck in some of those unhappy, unpleasant patterns, that's like your first step. You just need to get the awareness of how absolutely magically powerful you truly are. So thanks so much for having me.
All right, goosebumps. Thanks so much for sharing. Georgia?
All right, awesome. Yeah, everyone's phenomenal. This is exciting. Let's see. So I guess my tip is just kind of going over what I shared earlier. I have so many different things, but we'll just stay focused here. Otherwise, I'll be here for an hour. But that pre-journaling is the opportunity to pre-plan with results. So it's pretty cool. And you can find me on, if you're looking for me personally, you can find me on Facebook or on Instagram. Not really huge into social media, but you can find me there. Our candle company, again, is called Shorty's Candle Company. And my email is georgia@shortiescandles.com. So, you wanted to reach out, you can reach out there. And that's it. Otherwise, you can find me at a baseball field with my kid at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Welcome.
Virtually.
Thanks so much for sharing that. Awesome. And Rita. Oh, Rita, give me a minute. I think you are muted. Okay, here we go.
I just want to share that you are not alone. There's so many people that have the same fears and doubts and frustrations. And it's learning how to take responsibility for your life. And sometimes people are just fearful. They're too comfortable in where they are, and they just don't know how to take that first step. So I love helping people with that. And also, when you set an intention for your life or your business or your personal life, then go forth with it, with your actions, but also learn to sail with the wind. So I'm really big into meditation and connecting with my higher self, because if I'm quiet enough, and even if I'm not quiet and then I'm quiet and then I'm not quiet, because meditation is not, you're just thoughtless. Those thoughts are going to come, but you have to learn how to just let go of it and continue to focus on your breath, or if you're walking in nature, bicycle ride, whatever you do to connect to your higher self. I think it's important to just let go and release control. And that's one of my favorite little chances. I release control and allow the flow of love to heal and guide me. So I love that, and I think that that's so important. And you can find me on Facebook, Living Balanced, and that's my business page. I do have a private group also, and my website is livingbalanced.co.
All right, beautifully shared. Thank you so much, all of you. Every time I do these summits, I get just spiritually fulfilled through all the amazing work that everyone does in the world. And I want to thank you for coming to the Life School platform and being part of our amazing community that's growing daily of purpose-driven entrepreneurs. All these amazing ladies will be having their easy links to access them inside the Facebook group, Badass Mission Driven Entrepreneurs Community. And this summit is going to also be streamed inside our podcast, the Life School Masterclass Show. So I want to make sure that we stream and we use all these amazing channels given to us as social media in a very positive way, so we can make the impact that we want to make through our work with the right audiences that we really want to serve at the highest level. So we'll be streamed live there as well. So thank you so much, ladies. Again, thank you for coming to the summit. Look out for more details on organizing something live for October. This is one of the main missions of my personal brand, to really make the impact and bring more brand awareness around so many amazing entrepreneurs that are doing magical work daily, so that they can shine their light in the world. At the end of the day, I believe purpose-driven entrepreneurs are here to change the world, because we only want to make positive impact through our work. That's why we started our businesses in the first place. I know, at least for me, that's why I did. So thanks so much again, and see one another in the future summits. Bye, everybody.